that they might come and anoint him. You see that?
Yeah.
And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came into the grave at the rising of the sun. There was no mention of an earthquake. Okay, so Matthew says there was a great earthquake. Mark says nothing about an earthquake. Watch this. Go to look. Luke 24 says nothing about an earthquake. We're just going to sidestep this one. John 20 says nothing about an earthquake. Okay, so here we go. Matthew says there were 2 women. Mark says there were 3 women.
Come on, man.
Matthew, Mark, Luke says there was a whole heap of them. John says there were only one.
Only one.
Matthew says that it was the dawning of a new day. Mark says it was very early at sunrise. Luke says it was very early in the morning. John says it was dark. Matthew says there was an earthquake. Mark didn't say anything about an earthquake. Luke didn't say anything about an earthquake. John didn't say anything. Okay, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Go back to Matthew 28. Go back. We got another problem. We got another problem. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Back to 28, verses 1 and 2. Look. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 2 in chapter 28 in Matthew, it says, "And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door." And after he rolled it back, what did he do? Okay, watch this. Watch this. Matthew said,
I see it.
He came down, rolled back the stone, and sat on it. Watch this. Go to Mark 16. Go to Mark 16. I want you to see this. See, you got to look at this stuff because people try to use this stuff against you. Look. Mark 16. Mark 16 and 5 says this. "And entering to the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side.
On the right side.
Clothed in long white garment, and they got scared." Matthew says there was an earthquake. And the angel came, rolled back the stone, and sat on it. Mark says wasn't nobody sitting on the stone. When they got in the grave, somebody was on the right hand side of the grave. Y'all follow me? Y'all follow me? Watch this. Go to Luke 24. Go to Luke 24. Go to Luke 24.
Reverend Smith.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to bore you. I'm sorry. Look at Luke 24. Luke 24, 1 through 4. It says, "Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came into the grave, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them." Verse 2. "And they found the stone rolled away." Number 3 says, "And they entered in, and they didn't find what? The body of Jesus." Watch this. Watch this. Verse 4 says, "And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men." Matthew said there was an earthquake. An angel came down, rolled away the stone, and sat on the stone. Mark said, "Well, no angel sitting on no stone." The stone was already gone. They went in. It was a man on the right hand side of the grave. Luke said, what? It's 2 fellas in shiny garments. Okay, go to John 20. Go to John 20. Go to John 20. Go to John 20. John 20. John 20. John 20. Look. 11. Verse 11 says, "But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the grave, and saw what? In what? White. But look at where they were standing. What did it say? One at the head and one at the feet where Jesus' body had been laid." Matthew says there was an earthquake. And the angel came, rolled away the stone, and sat on the stone. Mark said the stone was gone. They walked in, and there was a brother on the right-hand side of the grave. Luke said when they got in there, it was 2 men standing in a grave. John says they got in there, and there were 2 men, one standing at what? And one standing where? Okay, all right. Look, you wouldn't went this far. Stay with me. Stay with me. We almost through. I promise you. We almost through. Watch this. Watch this. Go back to Matthew 28. Go back to Matthew 28. I apologize. I apologize. This is so simple. I apologize to you. I apologize. Watch this. 1 through 5. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene, the other Mary, to see the grave. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. You see that? And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and become as dead what? Okay, verse 5 says, and the angel answered and said unto the women, fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was what? Look at verse 7. Look at verse 7. It says, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is what? Risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth forth before to Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. Verse 8 says what? And they departed how fast? Quickly. From where? With fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples the word.
Yeah, the word.
Okay, watch this. All right, go to Mark 16. Now, Matthew just said they ran and told the word, right? Okay? Now, look, Mark 16, verses 6 through 8 says this, and he saith unto them, be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. Verse 7 says, but go your way. Tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, as he said unto you. Verse 8 says, and they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man.
Man, they didn't tell nobody.
Thank you, Doc. Matthew said they ran quickly and told his disciples. Mark said they ran. They ain't said nothing to nobody.
Yeah. Wow.
Luke says that they ran and told the disciples, but the disciples didn't believe them.
Yeah.
John says they just asked, what you crying for? Which story is right?
Come on, Reverend. Come on. Come on, Reverend. I'm with you tonight, preacher. Yes, sir, Reverend.
Which one did you teach your kids as an Easter speech?
Come on, Reverend.
When you study this text, there appears to be contradictions in the story. And my problem is, what is the truth?
Right. Okay.
And I've always been the type of person that have wanted to preach nothing but the truth.
Right. So help me God. Yes, sir.
And so I asked the Lord somewhere above New Mexico this afternoon, what do you want me to tell them folk at Prosperity the truth is?
Yes, sir. Come on, brother.
And the Spirit spoke to me and says this. Number one, how do you know they're not all true?
Yeah, all right now. Question. Yeah.
You see, because each writer recorded a different episode.
Yeah.
And they could have just recorded the same episode, but just at different times. See, John's story could have been first that Mary Magdalene went to the grave and she was by herself while it was still dark. And so she went back and got the other Mary, which is what Matthew said, and they didn't believe it. So they went back and got Joanna and the others. So they all could be right. Second thing the Holy Spirit said to me is this. Look, the gospel writers simply wrote the story that was told to them.
Okay. That's right. Because the women.
Now, get ready, Tonio, because we're about to fly out of here.
Yeah.
If I told John Porter a story, and he told Pastor Dixon a story, and he told Pastor Washington a story, and Wash told Brother Tonio, Tonio told Susie, Susie told my classmate told James, James told the brother told Jamie,